Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Wargaming. I'm Patrick. Tonight we're going to be playing a game of Crusade mission rules, at 500 points, and I'm joined by Owen here.
Hello guys, how are you?
Yeah, good. I'm going to try and see if my Tyranids can finally beat the Dark Eldar. You're playing with a new codex, right?
Yeah, so testing out the new codex. Going to give the Blackheart Obsession a try. They've gotten a big boost in the new codex, so yeah, hopefully we can put them to the test today.
Okay. Well, why don't you talk us through your army and then we'll talk about the mission we're going to be playing.
Okay, so as I said, taking a Blackheart patrol led by our Archon here. I do have to look up his warlord traits, but I think it's Ancient Evil, so he gets rerolls on hits and wounds, so it's pretty powerful. He's got the Dingeon Blade, which has been updated as well. So looking at putting out a lot of high damage attacks. That's backed up with the Incubi, who have also gotten a boost in the new codex. Straight up boost actually. Yeah, they just do more damage now, and hit on twos, which is fantastic. And then behind them we got the Cowboy Warriors. They're just a standard unit of 10 with 2 blasters and 1 dark lance. I do not have the model correctly in place, but you just gotta trust me on that one. And then in the back we have our Raider. This has also gotten a boost in the new codex. It now takes 11, so I can throw my Archon in on top of the 10, which is a great addition. This is armed with a Dark Lance. Again, Dark Lance has got the boost. They're now doing 3 damage with a D3 on top of that, so you're potentially looking at 6 damage, minimum 4, which is just fantastic. Something I think everyone was hoping for. And yeah, there's a few more busts as well. I think there's more attacks on the Raider. There is a my one because I've given it the chain snares. And yeah, and then over here we have the Ravager. Again, I think it's got an extra 1 health and it's armed with 3 dark lances. So yeah, there's nothing too new about the Ravager. I think it's pretty much the same profile as the old codex, but just those dark lances, they're back with a vengeance. So
Sounds
that's my
scary.
army.
So, yeah, I'll go over to mine. So, I'm taking a Tyranid force again. I've been really having trouble at this small point level beating the Druhkari. I find it's easier when you get to higher point levels, but the Druhkari seem to be ruling the roost at the moment at the lower point levels. So I've taken a bit of a different army here. I've got 6 of these hive guards, so they can, if you don't know the hive guards, they can shoot without line of sight. So it makes them pretty powerful against the Druhkari army at the moment. But I have had to take a bit of a hit on how many models I've got on the table, so it could cause me problems for getting the objectives. But to kind of back that up a bit, I've got some Gene Stealers and a Broodlord, so he's at least got a bit of psychic. On the Broodlord, which is obviously my Warlord, I've also given him the Resonance Barb, so that gives him an extra psychic power. And I'm adding... No, I don't get to add 1 to it. That's the other guy. Oh, yes, no, I do. Sorry. I do. I get to add 1 to my psychic tests as well, so it should make him a little bit better in the psychic round. Instead of giving the relic, I've given the Hive Guard actually the adaptive biology, and I've given them the one where, because they haven't got any invul saves on them, which makes them really susceptible to you shooting at them. So I've given them dynamic camouflage. And what this gives them is that every time a range attack is allocated to it, and they're getting the benefits of cover, so if they're, standing behind something and getting cover from it, then I actually add an extra 1 to the armor throw. So normally their armor save's only a 4 up. Obviously, if I'm getting cover, then I've got a 3 up. But I'm actually adding an extra 1 to that, so potentially I can take that to a 2 up. But obviously, with all your high AP weapons, it's not gonna be ever a 2 up. But in theory, I can get to a 2 up with them, because like I say, they've got no kind of invulnerable save, and I could have taken, yeah, in fact, one of the spells I took on the Broodlord is Catalyst. So that does give people a 5-up invulnerable, feel no pain. So it's not quite an invulnerable. But obviously he's going to be kind of standing with the Gene Stealers. So whether it's going to come into play with a Hive Guard, probably not. But it's just a little bit of trying to keep them on the board to do enough damage before you absolutely kill me again. So yeah, that's my army. I'll talk us through what I'm going to be playing for the mission now, shall I?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be playing a Crusade mission. The idea is that we're doing a couple of warm-up matches for the Crusade that we're going to be starting over the next couple of days. So we're going to be using a Crusade mission just from the... I'm still waiting for my book to arrive for the new Crusade mission packs, but we're just going to be using one from the core book. And we're going to be playing Supply Drop. Now, it's worth saying that normally we would take agendas with this, but seeing as agendas is all about experience and we're not actually playing in the Crusade yet, there's no point in us taking any agendas, so we're just going to be taking the primary objectives. So what this mission is we've got 3 objective markers on the board. I'll load it up now. Yep, going the wrong way.
There we go.
So this mission is called Supply Drop, and we've got 3 objective markers on the board, and the person who rolls off as the attacker places the first one down, but it's got to be within this 6-inch bubble of the centre. Then the defender places one down. It's got to be at least 6 inches away from any table edge, and it's got to be at least 9 inches away from any of the other objective markers. And then the last one gets put down in the same way. So there is a little bit of an advantage to being the attacker in this, that you get to place them a bit closer to you. I think we decided that when we roll attacker defender, we choose the table sides first, because it seems that otherwise you don't kind of get the advantage of that. It doesn't really say in the book on how that should be played like that, but I think we've made that decision. Am I right in thinking?
Yeah, I think it makes most sense to... I mean, you get something for winning that roll-off.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. We'll get set up with the objective markers. We'll get the board set up and we'll do deployment, and we'll come back then after that point. We've done our deployment. I didn't mention about how the scoring works for this mission, so I'll just talk about that briefly. So how it works with each of these positions that we put down here, these if you hold one, for each one that you control, in the second and third battle round you get 10 points for it. In the fourth battle round you get 15 points, and in the fifth battle round you get 30 points. But they can't be scored in the first round. But it's also worth noting that in the fourth battle round we roll a dice and we remove one randomly. And in the fifth battle round we remove another one. So there's only one left on the table at the end of the battle. So that will affect the scores. But let's talk about our deployments now. I rolled to be the attacker, so Owen deployed first. So would you like to talk us through your deployment?
Without giving too much away, yeah, I think I'm just trying to keep the distance. I know these guys have their 36-inch range. So yeah, just trying to keep out of their guns as much as possible. They can shoot from behind obscuring, so they're a really difficult unit to kind of go up against. I've been saying that these are the key for Tyranid, I find. So these are kind of my main threat.
Definitely
game,
against
so
Dark
I'm
Eldar.
stay away. Oh, for sure. They just got such good shooting, and just being able to hide behind things and take shots like that it's just so powerful. Yeah, so that's kind of my positioning, is just being a defensive one in case I don't get turn one.
Yeah, mine's been pretty much the same, to be honest with you. That I've tried to put these Hive Guard in just a place where the least likely to be able to be seen, or at least you're going to be able to. You're going to have to work to be able to see them because of the obscuring here. still, if you get turn 1, you're going to probably be able to get up there with the movement that the Dark Eldar have got and do something to me. But it's really to try and stop a bit of that. Then I've got the Steelers and the Broodlord behind this centre place here. In theory, they could get an alpha strike on you, but it's really not necessarily my plan. But we'll see how it goes. So I think let's do the most important roll of a game, and let's roll for attacker defender. Attacker defender. Let's roll to see who goes first.
Who goes first? Oof. Not my day.
That'll be me then.
Same. Not by much.
I think we're both starting with 3 command points on the board, so
Yep.
let's start that off. I'll get the game started, and yeah, I'll see you back at the end of the movement phase. So after the movement phase of Tyranids, the Gene Stealers moved in advance because they've got the ability where they can charge as well, unfortunately, and they got a maximum advance of 6, so they went really far. Unfortunately, the Broodlord only could advance for 1, and even using a reroll, I rolled a 1 again, so he didn't go very far at all. And obviously the Hive Guards stayed where they were. So I'm going to go into the psychic phase. Because I've got the resonance bar, I've got 2 spells I can actually cast with the Broodlord. So the first one I'm going to cast is Smite to the Raider. As we just found out, these aren't actually obscuring, so we can see through it to go for the Raider. So needing just a 5, but obviously I'd like a lot more for a Super Smite. Well, he gets his 5. Okay, so it's going to be D3 mortal wounds onto the Raider. Gets 2 mortal wounds. And for his next trick, he's going to go ahead and cast Catalyst onto the Gene Stealers. And that'll give him a 5 up, feel no pain if it goes off. And it goes off. Oh, in fact, I get a +1 to my stuff anyway from the resonance barbs. So I'm needing a 5. It goes off on a 6, but I get a +1. So that goes off. So they've got Catalyst on them. So they've got 5 up, feel no pain. So that's it for my psychic. I'm going straight into the shooting. There is no shooting on the Broodlord or the Gene Stealers, so we're just talking about these Hive Guard here. Now they have got 3 shots each. They're going to plow everything they've got into that Raider. I'm just going to see if all of them can reach. Yeah, no problem. So all of them can reach the Raider, and they're going to plow everything they've got into that Raider. So there is 6 of them. So
how many shots is that? That's 6 times 2, 12 shots.
No, they've got 3 shots each. So yeah,
2 shots each.
2 shots each, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3. No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
The damage is deep.
Yeah. Always worth a try, eh?
I think I'll definitely do a lightning fast reflex on that.
Okay. And what does that do in the new codex? Has it changed since the last codex?
No, same rules, just cost 1 CP.
Okay. And that gives you the -1 to hit, that's right?
Yeah, -1 to hit.
Okay.
For the rest of the shooting phase.
Okay. Well, that's something. Because I've taken the Kronos, I do actually get to re-roll 1s on anything that hasn't moved. So yeah, I will obviously be making use of that with them guys. So because of that, they would be shooting normally on a 4-up. Sorry, no, on a 3-up.
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 These guys are pretty good at shooting.
But it's going to go to a 4-up because of the lightning fast reflexes. So we'll see how this works out. And I do get to re-roll those 1s. So the lightning fast reflexes did absolutely nothing. So all of those go into you. Raider.
I think you're wounding on 3s. 6, but you're wounding on... Yeah, you're wounding on 3s with your strength 8 weapon.
Yeah.
The Raider's toughness has gone up, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, so wounding on freeze then. Debating whether to actually re-roll one of those. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to save it. Okay, so let's just delete these. And yeah, so the AP's -2.
Yeah, so I do have my 5 up invul save from shooting. Ooh, only save one of them though. So he's potentially going down.
Okay, well it's D3 damage each, so I shall. I might as well roll them all together. There's no reason I would separate them out. Not great.
Enough to
9.
kill him.
Okay. I think he's close enough to bother anything about blowing up.
No. Let's see who gets out. I lose 2 of them.
Okay. So that is the end of my shooting phase. However, I've got to decide now. I have got a stratagem to make them shoot again, so I'm just going to do some measuring to see if there's actually anything worth me shooting. I mean, obviously, I could fire into these Cabalites here. However, I don't think it's really a worthwhile shot. And I can't reach these guys over here. I could go into the Archon, but yeah, against the Cabalites it's more about having lots of shots rather than... I just still got 12. I could probably clear out those Cabalites with them. I'm not going to, because it does cost 2 CP. I'm going to save it for the moment and chance my hand in the charge phase. Okay, so we'll move into the charging then, because there's not going to be anything more for the shooting. The only thing that's going to be trying to charge is going to be these Gene Stealers, and yeah, I think it's just going to have to be that they're going to try and charge these Cabalites because they are the closest thing. It's going to require a 10-inch charge, so I'll try and do that. If not, they're kind of out in the open, but you're going to have to choose your targets at least. I only have 6. I am going to spend a reroll point on this because it could be a game changer if I do get in there. Oh, close, but no dice.
No, just off, thank God. Those guys tear up in combat.
Yeah, they certainly do. But that does mean that I can't do anything else because nobody else is in range. So they're kind of sitting ducks now, but we'll see how it goes. So let's move over to yours. Obviously, there's no scoring at the end of the first round, but we'll move over to your turn. Have you got anything to do in your command phase?
No abilities in the command phase currently.
Okay, then we'll come back after you finish doing your movement.
So, back after Druhkari's movement, you can see now I've been put into a very defensive position. My raider, my legs have been taken away from me. So I've moved up my Cabalite warriors into some cover, which they got range now of the Gene Stealers and the Broodlord. They've got some pretty heavy guns in there. The Broodlord is out of his lookout serve range, so he'll definitely be a target. And I got some rapid fire weapons there as well. Incubi made an advance of 1 inch and ended up in this building. Really didn't know what I was doing with them. They have turn 2 they get the advance in charge, which makes them very powerful. But turn 1, when they don't have any form of transport, I'm finding that they tend to be sitting back and kind of just waiting for their moment. The Ravager has pushed up and got himself into range of the Hive Guard. I don't intend to kill too many of them, but if I can just take out 1 or 2, it's going to soften the blow. It's all going to come down though to the shots of these Cabalite warriors and what they can do to the Broodlord. But yeah, I feel like the next round is going to be quite heavy hitting, because these Hive Guard, there's just so many shots and so much high damage potential. So yeah, going into the shooting phase, I will start with the Archon because I have to him first because he's the closest and it's the only thing that he can target the Gene Stealers. He's got a blast pistol. So hitting on twos, wounding on twos. Oof. One. Just my luck. So no damage there. Then going into the Kabbalite Warriors. All of the heavy weapons will target the Broodlord. And the rest of the rapid fire weapons are going to target the Gene Stealers. So I think it's an 18 rate. Yeah, so we're good for that, and 36 for the Dark Lance. I'll start with the rapid fire, sure, and get that out of the way. You did take out a few of the guys earlier when for the explosion, so 1, 2, 3. So we're down to 5. That will be 10 shots now with rapid fire. Hitting on 3s. I do believe they re-roll once because of the Archon. If he's within, yes, he is in 6. So 6 hits, 4s to wound. Only 2 wounds. No AP.
Okay, so I'm going to be saving on 5 ups. Oh, in fact, they've got 5 up invulnerable save, and the save's 5 up
And
anyway.
you're feeling no pain.
Yeah, and I've got the feel no pain from the catalyst now, so I'll roll that. Okay, saves 1, takes 1, and it's just 1 damage, right? Okay, so one of them dies.
Now for the rest of the shots going into the Broodlord. 2 Dark Lances. Or sorry, 2 Blasters. 1 missed. 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. 1 wound. -4 AP.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by AP with him at all because of the invulnerable save. But he hasn't got the feel no pain.
Oof.
How much damage is that?
D6. And there's another one coming in that's 3 damage flat.
I think I might re-roll
Plus
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, doesn't save it anyway, so wasted a CP. So that's 2 damage. 2 damage.
Oh, he minuses.
No, that was a D6. Oh, it's D6 damage, isn't it?
D6 damage, yeah.
Okay, 3 damage
3
then.
damage. Now for the Dark Lance. Ooh, luckily you get to reroll once. Hits. And it wounds.
Okay. So I need to make this invulnerable save now, and I've already used my reroll.
This is a guaranteed kill if he doesn't make, because of the flattery.
So he's dead.
Yep. Yeah, the strength of those new Dark Lances is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty important because of the buff that he gives, also the psychic that he's got, but he gives the buff to the Gene Stealers in the fighting where they +1 to their hit rolls in the fighting, so it's actually really pretty big.
Oh, right, yeah. And I've full intentions of charging in and fighting, so. Yeah, so now I'm going in with the Ravager, and he is going to target the Hive Guard here now.
Yep.
He will get just the 3 shots. Now he's not in range of the rerolls. In fact, I don't think he gets the rerolls because he's not core anymore. But he does get to reroll 1 shot for being Blackheart. Doesn't matter because they all
Doesn't
hit.
need it.
Oof, wounding on 2s. I am going to reroll 1 of those though.
Okay.
Okay, 3 wounds. And they are all 3 damage each.
Okay. What's the AP on it?
-4.
Okay. So I've got no way of saving that, so that's just going to kill 3 of them straight up.
I was thinking now, or the new stratagem is called. I can't remember the name. People will butcher me now for saying it's like never steady or never still, something along those lines. It's fire and fade, but costs 2 CP. That would be a nice one now to just be able to dump the Ravager in, maybe take this point. But with 7 inches, I can't make it because I think that's actually in the building. So unless I was able to get over here, which I'm not, it's just out of my range, so I'm not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. But with my last bit of movement, I will charge with the Archon.
Okay, I've got nothing to overwatch with.
To the Gene Stealers. On the 6th, I think he might make it. Yes, he will. I think I might charge in with the other lads too. So Cabot Warriors are charging now into the Gene Stealers too. This could be a terrible decision. 4. They just don't make it. So, yep, they're going to stay where they are.
No decision's been made then.
Yep. So, moving into combat.
Yep.
Right, so looking at the scenario now, all we have in combat is the Archon with the Gene Stealers. He has got the rerolls to wound and rerolls to hit, and he's armed with the Dingeon Blade. I'm butchering that name, sorry guys, but Dingeon Blade, I think that's an extra 2 attacks onto him, so he's 7 attacks and he's getting to reroll everything. And they will hurt those Feel No Pains because they're 3 damage each. And what is the toughness on the Gene Stealers? 4, yeah, so wounding on 4s, hitting on 2s. Okay, all hit. Hitting on 4s. Oof. Okay. 4 wounds.
Okay, so what's the AP on this one? In fact, it doesn't even make a difference.
Yeah, he's going straight to your invul. I think it's pretty high regardless.
Yeah, it makes no difference. My invul's the same as my AP, so let's see what we get. Okay, so they don't actually save any of them on the invul. How much damage is it each?
3 damage each.
Alrighty. Yeah, I might as well try and use the Feel No Pain, but
it's a 5 up Feel No Pain, so it's not impossible.
Okay, so he makes it once. This is just for one of them. Makes it again. And makes it again, so one of them's okay. Next.
Nice.
So, yep. Nope. So one of them's dead.
You can fast roll them. No, he's dead.
Okay, so I've lost 3 of them.
Okay. Not too bad.
Could have been worse. But
yeah, it certainly could be worse.
Unfortunately, because I haven't got the leader on the board now, I've got nothing with this synapse range. All of the ones that I'm losing now are going to be having to take morale tests. It's not too bad on the Gene Stealers. On the Hive Guard, though, they've only got a 7 leadership. So it's potentially I could have them running away.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, the Gene Stealers here are going to fight back, obviously. In fact, yeah, what I'll do is I'm just going to move him round here, because if I do finish him off, it's going to make it easier to get to you next time. I don't think I will, but we'll see. I think they get 3 attacks each. Yeah, 3 attacks each. If there was more than 10 of them in the unit, I'd be getting 4 attacks. Now, I have got a choice of weapons here, One of them's an acid more, but I'm not sure if it's one that I've already taken off. It probably is, but I don't think I'd be using it anyway. So I'm going to have a choice here. They've all got rending claws and scything talons on it.
I think what you're going for is multitude of shots, because I got that 2 up invo, so no matter what AP you
Yeah,
have.
exactly. The rending claws does extra AP on 6s, but the damage is the same, so there's no point doing it. I might as well use a scything talons.
Anything that gives you more attacks.
Well, it doesn't give me more
Yeah.
attacks because I've only got one pair of them, but I can
Oh, I
re-roll hit
see.
rolls of 1, which is quite big.
I think
So that's what I'm going to go for.
It's better than AP right now.
Yeah, I think I agree. So it's going to be 9 attacks then, and I'm going to be re-rolling the 1s. Hitting though, yeah, hitting on freeze. That's not bad. What's it? She's only toughness 3, right?
She's only a toughness 3, yeah.
Okay, so wounding on freeze. That's pretty good. It's only 1 damage a piece, but you're going to have to obviously make them one at a time.
Okay, so now for the invul save of the Archon. 2 up, lose it on a 1. First one is okay. Second one I lost it. Okay, so we've taken 1 damage, and we've lost our invul save. Now for the rest of the 3 attacks, what is the AP on this?
So there's no
actually does come
AP.
into it.
There's no AP. I didn't
No
take
AP.
it.
I save 1. I save 2.
Okay, so it's just 2 damage.
Yep. Let me just double check on my codex. I believe the Archon has gone up to a 4 up save. Yeah, which is correct. Otherwise, Cobalt Warriors would have a better save than the Archon, which would seem wrong. So 2 damage I've taken.
Yep.
And I've lost the invul save, so I'm now at a 4 up save. Against the Gene Stealers.
Yeah, I mean the Gene Stealers have already fought you, so it's going to be the end of turn.
I'm thinking next turn, thinking ahead.
Yeah, they might run away, to be honest with you, because they are on. I've got to do all my morale now. So do you, if you're bothered by it at all. I'm going to start though with the Hive Guard, because they are only a 7, and they've lost 3 of them. So it means that a 5 or a 6 are going to be running away. So I really don't want to roll high on this one. No, they're fine. So they're not running away. I believe the Gene Stealers are actually a leadership of 9, and I have lost how many of them? Oh, there's 3 of them left, and I had 7 to start with, so I've lost 4 of them. And they're on a 9, so yeah, a 5. Let me just check that. So it's got to be higher than their leadership. So 4 of them plus 5 would take me 9. So I need a 6, and well, I don't need a 6, and don't need a 6.
Yeah.
And I get a 6.
There's a 6.
Jeez. All right. So one of them's running away now because they're on half strength. Ones are 2s, and they're going to be no. So the other 2 are fine.
No. Okay.
Okay then, so it's going to go over to my turn again then. Oh, do you have to take morale on the Kabalites there? Are they going to be bothered by it at all?
I think they lost 2 models, leadership of 8, so they should be fine.
Okay, well that was a pretty good turn for you, really. We'll just have to see what I can do in shooting now. I'm not going to be scoring any points, so if you want to flick it across to my turn.
So, end of turn for Druhkari. Wrap up for the round. We're looking at a pretty decent scenario here. I think Archon has things under control in the center. We've taken out the majority of the Hive Guards, which were the big threat. So, a really, really, really successful round 1. I didn't expect to do as much damage with the Ravager. We managed to land all our shots. Not getting any invul saves on the Hive Guard was massive because that AP actually can go through. I find a lot of units in the game at the moment they have invul saves, so when AP is able to have that effect where you just don't get a save is really nice, and when landing 3 shots of it is even better. So yeah, I overall definitely really happy with the round. We'll have to see where it goes from here, but I feel quite confident that Druhkari are going to take it from here. So, ending my turn, I'm going to pass over to Patrick.
Okay, so yeah, as you said, it was pretty successful turn for you, especially seeing as some of my guys from the Gene Stealers actually ran away because after losing that Broodlord, I don't have the Synapsis anymore, so that's pretty big. I've got the decision to make now in the movement phase. I obviously can't move the Gene Stealers because they're based, but do I move the Hive Guard up to get them into cover here? However, if I do that, they have got heavy weapons on them, and so they'll be getting a -1 to hit with them. Plus, I won't be able to re-roll ones, but I've got more survivability in your turn. I think I'm going to leave them where they are, and I will be getting no points for this because I've got nobody on any objectives. Neither of you at the moment. It's really going to come down to who kills who.
And it's worth noting that with the movement of the Ravager, it's like 14 inches, depending on if you damage him in this turn. But 14 inches is going to get me onto the flank, so I should be able to target you with relative ease. You will get that bonus though. I think you have a stratagem, don't you? You mentioned earlier.
Not sure.
To boost your saves on the Hive Guard.
Oh no, it's something that I've given them. They've got it on it. It isn't even a stratagem, but it's only when they're in cover, and that's the thing I'm debating. It would actually, they get a +1 to the save for being in cover, but they did get an extra +1 because of the adaptive biology I've given them. So it's a question of I could move them up into the cover here to protect them against getting killed as badly, but then there'd be a -1 to the hitting, and they would be a -1 to they wouldn't be getting the re-rolls of 1 that Kronos gives them. So yeah, it's a decision. I think I'm gonna
big hit.
I think I'm gonna leave them where they are and just try my best to take out this Ravager. I don't think I've got much choice about that because I think I'm just a sitting duck otherwise. But I don't think it's going to come down to points this game. I think it's going to be decided on this turn. So I'm not going to be doing any movement. We're just going to go straight into the shooting phase. And obviously I'm going to be shooting with all of those guys into the Ravager. They should all have range on him, I think. I'll just double check that. Yep, they have. So all of them have got range on him. So I'm going to be getting 6 shots. It's really took a massive hit, losing so many of them. They will be re-rolling 1s.
Yep. I will do a lightning fast reflexes on this one.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So hitting on their F4.
Yep. Okay. Don't get any of the re-rolls. Yeah. It is what it is. Then I should be wounding on a 3 still with them. Okay, so 2 of them go through. It's -2 P.
This will go straight to the impulse save, the 5-up impulse save. Saves 1 of them.
It's only I shoot stratagem to get
by 1 CP.
How does that interact with each other now? Because obviously I can't afford to play.
I'm not fully aware because it hasn't come up before. I don't know if it puts the CP up, and if anyone can answer this one. I don't know if it puts the CP up after the stratagem has been played, or before the stratagem has been played.
Yeah, I'm really
But for
unsure.
the sake of this game, I say we play it on the side that is least effective for me, and we'll play it so that I cannot use that stratagem currently.
Okay, that's I think a nice thing to do. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, if I want to play it again, obviously it's going to go up. But if anyone's got any better idea of how that interacts with that, then please let
Yeah.
us know in the comments.
I think I'll hold off on that stratagem too, because you won't be able to play it again regardless, because it's 2 CP. So I'm gonna hold that back, that stratagem.
Yeah, makes sense. It'd be good if we can get some clarification
Yeah.
of that though. And I do get to reroll the ones. Alright, that's a bit better. Again, damaging on a 3. Okay, so 3 go through.
Saves one of them.
Okay, let's see what kind of damage I can do this time. 4.
Okay, he's certainly bracketed. Okay, Druhkari round 2. So, pretty happy with how things are going so far. The Ravager took a bit of a hit from the Hive Guard. It's put him onto his second bracket, so I've still got a few decent shots left from him. The Archon is kind of out in the open at the moment, so I mean, at this point in the game, I think it's kind of obvious that it's going to be, well, there's only one unit left to kind of focus on, so that's basically what I'll be doing, is getting my Archon and all my troops up there and seeing what I can do, and in the meantime trying to score some points along the way. It's probably a done deal at this point, but yeah, we'll have to see. There's still 3 rounds left. Going into the movement phase, and we will be back with you guys shortly. So back after Druhkari's movement phase, as you can see, I've moved my Cabal up, the Archon is moved up, Ravager's moved up. Basically everything in the board is kind of focusing in on these Hive Guards. I have decided to ignore the points for this particular turn. It could be detrimental. I feel that at this stage the game is probably in the bag if I can take out the Hive Guard. They just won't have enough shooting to take out my units, so I can probably try end it quicker. Maybe the more sensible thing to do is to get something on the point. I was hoping to get some of the incubi up on a better advance. It was actually quite, I think I rolled like a 1 or 2. So they didn't get up very far, and the Cavalite Warriors didn't get far either. So I could have left the Archon on the point, but I think I decided that I'm just going to go for that charge. He doesn't have any Overwatch, he's no CP. It's a tough one, but if I can make that, then I think that will solidify the game. Not to mention I've got some shots coming in from the Ravager, which might make the charge difficult. But yeah, so gonna segue now into the shooting phase. So starting the shooting phase, I will start with, I think, the only thing that can shoot, which is the Ravager. He's now going to be hitting on 4s though, so 50% chance now of getting to land in those shots, but I do get that 1 reroll. So 3 shots hitting on 4s. Oof, they all hit. Wounding on 3s. And they all wound, so I think that's game.
Yeah, I have no save against it. So yeah, well, good game.
Yeah, I think a little bit surprised there. I didn't expect to do. Definitely didn't expect to land all 3 of them, but I think we both knew that it was only a matter of time. If it wasn't this round, it was going to be the fighting or the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whether it was too much I could have done there. I mean, maybe an idea was not to try and get the Alpha Strike with the Gene Stealers because they just weren't effective. They didn't get in for that charge, which just left them out in the open. Maybe it was asking too much because when you've got the Kraken Hive Fleet, the Gene Stealers can use the double advance stratagem, which is Kraken specific, and you're almost guaranteeing the alpha charge there. But maybe I would have been better actually just leaving them back a little bit, buffing some things out and going at you with them. So they just weren't too effective. I mean, one thing is they did take the Archon's invul save away from her, but it's only going to be effective if I killed her, which I didn't. So still trying to say what I could do different lists.
Do I take one more mortal wound? No, I don't. Just for everyone who's watching, I keep forgetting the Digit Blade. You got to roll that. But yeah, I think where maybe it would be wrong with the not having the lookout sir, getting the 1 on the advance and the re-rolling into 1 was pretty big.
Yeah,
I know that we didn't record that, so you can't see that, but he re-rolled his advance, and that it left him in a pretty kind of bad position, holding the point. But like at that point, he was just too far away to get the lookout zero, which meant that I can target him and take him off the game.
Absolutely. If I'd have stayed, if I'd have managed to stay alive, even if you'd have done some damage to those Gene Stealers, I'd have still had another psychic round, so I could have still given them the feel no pain and potentially done some damage with the smite, which in the position it was in would have probably been going into the Archon. So I'm not sure if it had been a game changer, but it had certainly prolonged the game for a little bit. But I'm still struggling to see at this point level how I could possibly beat the Druhkari with the Tyranids. But
yeah, I don't want to give away all my tips and lose every time, because I feel like you're getting closer and closer. But straight up, the Hive Guard are they're so good. They do perform. Unfortunately, I think what you in this game, you put them down too soon, and I could avoid them. So if you'd put them down over here and had a view of had range of my Ravager, that would have been your first target. The Ravager is your biggest enemy, and if you'd taken that off the board in the first turn over the Raider, you would have won the game.
Yeah, potentially. And I think you're right about that. The key was having some more of those Hive Guard on the table. Having 3 of them, yes, they're powerful, but they can't take out.
Not as good.
You've got to be really lucky to be able to take out a full vehicle like that on their own with 3 of them. So yeah, I think you're right. If I'd have managed to actually take out that Ravager in the first turn, it'd have been very difficult for you to come back. That Raider, yes, he'd have got the troops up there. But saying that, all you need to do in theory is tag them. But still, with the 6 in there, I can still take out full squad, even if not taking out something heavy.
Yeah, I do have to tag them, but it's I think that's what a Tyranid have, is they have a nice blend of very punchy, strong, close combat units, and then they have these like kind of wild card, like ridiculously powerful range units. You know, that you don't see coming. Like they're hitting on 3s, not like a lot of the Tyranids. They're hitting on 4s. You know, so I can lightning fast something on that's hitting on a 4 and make it a 5. That's so powerful, and it's only 1 CP. That's crazy. It's really good.
I can actually see the advantage of when you get to a bit of a higher point game on this, of taking 2 different patrols. So taking Kronos on 1 to give a re-rolling of 1s for the Hive Guard and people like that, and then the Kraken with the other one, so I can actually fall out of combat and charge back in again. And I can see an advantage of that.
Blend the 2.
Yeah, but at this point,
especially if you find like there's some good HQs in there too. So like it's not you're not just taking HQs for no reason. Like that Broodlord is it's nearly a must with the Gene Stealers. But I think there's another very powerful HQ that you can take with that blends quite well with Kraken. It gives more movement, or it does a spell or something, but you'd have to look into that. But yeah, I find
there's plenty I can actually take. And they have a lot of synergy with the units they take. So with the Gene Stealers, he is in theory a Gene Stealer, so he has a lot of synergy with the Gene Stealers. But you've got to make those decisions at these lower point games. With
Yeah,
a higher point game, I'd definitely be taking the Zonothropes and the Neurothrope as well. So I've got that as an extra thing because their smite is just so powerful. But on its own, I do
three
think
up infiltrate.
you've got to have something as well. I mean, one way of looking at these smaller point games is saying, okay, I'm not even going to think about the primary objectives here because I just don't have the forces or the speed to actually take them. And if I try and concentrate on that, you've basically won the game. So maybe it's worth having a look if I can make some kind of list that combines. I don't know whether I've got enough points at 500 points. I'll have to have a look into it. But that combines the Zonothropes with the with the Hive Guard to try and get that psychic round. So basically, they've got the shooting from both of them. Although the psychic isn't the shooting, but maybe it's worth having a look into that sort of arrangement. Oh, but then I would still need some troops to make it legal, and neither of those are troops. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know
Yeah,
the answer. I
it's something you have to play around with. And then, and like the most important thing is like we're playing Crusade, so we're not playing. We don't have like 2,000 point armies, and we can just like pick them and take them with us. The way we play, we're building that army from the beginning. So you don't know what you're gonna have at the end of the Crusade. You can try to plan for it, but you don't always know. Sometimes you have to take things in a pinch. So yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, that's what you're gonna have to do is just kind of like practice and kind of like find what works or what blends. But I do certainly think that those hive guards they hit hard. They hit really really hard. And just being able to hide them away and not be able to get hit is so powerful. They're just like
yeah,
these mortars
it
hiding
is.
behind buildings.
I'm starting to feel that for anybody who's watching, we're planning to be starting a crusade within the next couple of days. And we have our own house rules with a crusade. So essentially, what we do with crusades is treat it as a 12 game, and we have a limit of 12 games on it. It possibly goes into 13 if there's a draw, where we have scoring. So we have victory points that go throughout the crusade. So rather than just victory points for a game, you get victory points for certain things you do in the crusade. Like, for example, getting a win in a game will give you 2 victory points. And we have what we consider secondaries, like, for example, killing a warlord. So what I really maybe need to think about with the start of this crusade is maybe that I'm just not going to win any of the 500 point games, and I've just got to concentrate on what do I want to give those experience points to, so when we start to go into the higher level games I can really do something with them. Unfortunately, if I do that, because of the way we set up our crusades, is I'm going to take a massive hit on points in that first stage. But I do feel they're very competitive. Getting past 1,000 points or higher, they're very competitive, but it could be just the case that I end up losing the first few games just because of this. But again, if anybody's got any ideas for a list that could beat, obviously I don't know exactly what he's going to take for his list in the Crusade, but I'd imagine it'd be something similar to this or something with witches. I'm not too sure, but either way, they play pretty similar to these. So if anybody's got any ideas of what I could start off with for 500 points, then I'd be really glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see it too. I mean, like Druhkari have gotten their codex now. They can hit quite hard. They've gotten that love that I think that they definitely needed, um, and they deserved.
Oh,
But yeah, I'd like
absolutely.
to see a 500 point. I do find like 500 points again. I don't know if this is. I think this list you played today, like it's just 500 point games are too random. Like if it's who gets the first shot. Um, I think the positioning at the start for you was the only thing that gave it away because when you put the hive guard down first, that meant that I know where I don't put my Ravager. So had you put the hive guard down last, you could target the Ravager and still keep them in cover. So that would have been it would have been game over for the Ravager. I would have taken the same amount of wounds, and I wouldn't have a Ravager, and I wouldn't have any shooting then against your Hive Guard. And it was one round of shooting that took three of them out, which really neutered them in a sense. So yeah, I think I think an army like I don't think Druhkari right now are in this place where like they're just unstoppable. I just think that they got a boost, and people have to kind of realize that they're hitting harder. You know, Archon getting up there and doing flat 3 damage, that's great, but it's that, you know, that wasn't necessarily what I needed in that moment. I think he would have been getting similar attacks in the old codex as well. So he, you know, it's there's still some elements of the old codex that's in there. They still got their. I don't think they were useless before. Like we played tons of games. You know, Druhkari have loads of tricks. But yeah, so I think the main problem in this though is 500 points. It's just too random. You never know. Whoever goes first, whoever gets that big shot in at the start, that's kind of what the decider is.
Well, absolutely, and this is why I say when we're going into the Crusade, I've just got to think about what's going to be my priorities there, because it's quite unlikely I'm going to be looking at getting too many wins in that first one. Yeah, I think I've just got to see the wins, even though that's where we get most of our victory points for in our Crusade. I think I've got to see those wins as a bonus and really concentrate on not taking too much in terms of battle scars and getting the experience to go past that 500 point games, and just realize that that's going to probably happen, and try and make some really good decisions on what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, it's been a really good game.
Yep.
Over the next couple
fun.
of days, we're going to be starting up the Crusade. So we're going to be, within the next few days, posting a first Crusade battle report on there. And we're also going to do a pre-Crusade talk where we go over some of the house rules that we've got. Also the system that we've got set up for the Crusade in terms of the victory points that we have going through the Crusades. Which we've played because we both come from match play and not necessarily wanting to just these endless crusades that are just about narrative. So we've planned them in such a way that should be quite appealing to people who are coming from the match play sort of element of this. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That should be appearing within the next few days, and please like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated, and hit the bell icon so you can keep updated when that comes out. I can't promise exactly when that's going to be. It's going to be within the next week or so. So please keep tuned in for that. And again, if anybody out there has got some experience of how we would go about as a Tyranid army beating these, please don't say Necrons, because I do play Necrons, but for this Crusade, we've decided that I want to have a bit of fun with the Tyranids. I played Necrons in the last Crusade and was actually successful, so we'll see how that goes. But again, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and we'll